Hello, everybody. My name is Tak Oda. Welcome. I'm the CIO of Attaché for Business. I'm joined here in conversation with Lesa Hammond, our CEO. Welcome and thanks for joining me. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Doc?
Pretty great, thanks. How are you holding up with this sheltering in place work thing?
Yeah, it's interesting. And when I say that, we've been working remotely for quite a while now, which has been excellent for us. But to see everybody doing it, it's been quite a shift, and
Mhm.
I think a positive shift in many ways. I got a phone call I was making to a service provider, and and their message was, "We'll be transferring you to someone who's working from home. Please be aware that there may be background noise, dogs, children, and accept our apology ahead of time." I thought that was great.
I love it. I think it humanizes everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, that brings me back to what you were talking about last week with the survey that you ran.
Mhm.
How many people are enjoying this?
Oh yeah.
If I remember correctly, it was like 83% of people, yeah, 83% of people wanted to continue working from home or at least working more from home than they were before. Is that
Yeah, exactly. At least part time, so at least 20 hours a week or more.
okay? That's going to be a huge change, right? And I know you were also going to do a follow-up survey with the employers to see how that number is affecting them and what they're worried about. Is are you still in the middle of that survey? Or are you
Yeah, that survey is ongoing, but our
okay?
early results show that there are two things that people are concerned about.
All right.
And the first one is that they're concerned about engagement. They feel like their employees may not be as engaged if they're working from home, and therefore they may end up with higher turnover. The
Mm-hmm.
second one is making sure that the employees are actually working when they're working from
Ah,
home,
right,
not sitting around watching television or playing with the dog.
right. That's pretty natural. What are the things that they're most anxious about doing in terms of trying to track that? Are they looking at tools to track that, electronic tools or procedural tools?
Yeah, I didn't, that wasn't a question that we asked in the survey.
Okay.
I think that, I mean, there are some things that they could do to track it. I think
Okay.
one
Well.
of the things that's really important, though, is to realize the integrity of people is what's really going to make a difference. And if you have people working at the office, it doesn't necessarily mean they're putting in 8 hours of work. In
Hmm.
fact, most people aren't, you know,
Right.
they're stopping, they're chatting, and a lot of being at the office is the social interaction that they have. So it's important to keep that perspective anyway.
Hmm. So would you say that this is an issue that they're thinking about now, but has always been an issue, is what you're saying? People worried about, oh, what are they doing from home? But really, they never really knew what they were doing.
That you probably, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
Uh,
I guess you can stop in on the person when they're at work and see what they're
mhm,
doing to some extent, but you really don't know. Yeah, one of the things that in working from home, one of the things that seems like it can work the best
mhm,
is to really implement KPIs. And there's been a lot of talk over the last several years about KPIs, key
mhm,
performance indicators. And yeah, whether companies are implementing them well or not is
mhm.
one thing, but I take kind of an unconventional view of what a KPI can be, be-
Okay.
because I think there are individual KPIs which can really be done more on a weekly basis. And when I say
Mhm,
key performance indicator, I mean really identifying what it is that employee needs to do for that week
mhm.
and having some tracking on that, you know, by the employee, maybe some things that they turn in, and just making sure that you have these milestones that they're meeting. And if they're meeting the milestones, that's what's important.
Gotcha. That seems, I know we keep talking about this, but culture shift, right? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
it requires a pretty big paradigm shift for people for this to really work.
Yeah, it really does. And I think that it's a paradigm shift that needs to happen. And yeah, just think about what's going on in the country right now. There are a lot of paradigms being shifted. So
Very true. Very
and
true. I guess it's been high time. It's
yeah.
finally being forced to the head, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a time to do that. And I think that having employees working in that way, you actually get more productivity because they aren't working to a clock, they're working to completion.
Right.
And I know, sometimes I like doing the very manual task of, I love putting together like IKEA furniture because
Mhm.
I know that I've got something that at start to finish and at the end I've completed
Right.
something. And
Right.
I
You
think
feel like you
employees feel the same way.
accomplished something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Right. Do you have,
having these
what's that?
milestone tasks allows the employee to say, okay, I completed what I had to do this week.
Right. So in some ways it might raise people's job satisfaction to feel like
Yep. Yeah.
every week they're accomplishing something and hit a mark and
Yeah.
check, right?
Yep.
Do you have any advice for people in terms of making the shift? Because I mean, it sounds great, but it also sounds like a pretty huge change in mindset.
Well, I think it's a shift. During this time, they've probably had a chance to see. We've been shelter in place for about 3 months, and
Mhm.
it's given people a chance to see what works and what doesn't work.
Mhm.
And if they're finding things that are not working, then it's a good opportunity to shift that. So if it's not working, I think everybody probably knows it's not working. If there are a
Mhm.
lot of employees who don't know what they're supposed to be doing at home, they may like the idea that they're getting paid for not working much, but at the same time,
Right.
it's not very satisfying.
Very true. Very true. Well, I'm pretty hopeful. I hope things shift, and it's been high time, and maybe in the end, people will be a lot happier at work.
Yeah, I think it could be.